Hey there. I want you to pause for a moment and think about something important. How often do you look at others and think, I wish I could be like them? Whether it's their success, their confidence, or their achievements, we often compare our lives to theirs. We see the final product, the polished version of their story. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself how they got there? What you might not know is that behind every achievement, behind every smile, there's a journey. A journey full of struggles, failures, and tiny steps that no one sees. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. We all have dreams. We all want something more. But how do we get there? How do we take those small steps that lead to big success? In this video, I'm going to show you the truth about success, the kind of truth that doesn't get shared in motivational speeches or Instagram posts. No one is born perfect. No one is handed their dreams on a silver platter. Every person you admire started somewhere, and their journey wasn't easy. So let's break down those barriers and talk about what success really means. Get ready, because what I'm about to share with you might just change how you see yourself and your own journey. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Iceberg Illusion. Success is like an iceberg. We see the top part, the part that is above the water. It looks beautiful. It shines. But we forget something important. Most of the iceberg is under the water. We do not see that part. That part is deep and heavy. It holds the iceberg up. Without that part, the top would not exist. In life, success is the same. We see someone who is rich. We see someone who is famous. We see someone who speaks English very well. And we think, wow, they are so lucky. But we do not see what is under their success. We do not see the pain, the practice, the early mornings and the late nights. That part is hidden. But that hidden part is the most important. Let me tell you a story. Once I saw a boy in my neighborhood who spoke English very fluently. He spoke with confidence. He used big words. Everyone liked to hear him speak. I felt small. I thought, why can't I speak like that? I thought maybe he was just smart or lucky. But later, I found out something. This boy had been listening to English every single day for 3 years. He watched English cartoons, listened to English music, and read English books. He had a notebook where he wrote down new words. He practiced speaking alone in front of a mirror. He even recorded his voice and listened to it again and again. I didn't know any of that. I only saw the top of the iceberg, his perfect English. But now I saw the hard work under the surface. This happens all the time. We look at others and think they are lucky, but we do not see their story. We do not see how many times they failed. We do not see how many times they wanted to give up. We do not see their fear, their doubts, their tears. Just like an iceberg, we only see the top. But success is not just the result. Success is the journey. And the journey is full of things that are not always beautiful. Sometimes the journey is slow. Sometimes it is hard. But that is what makes success real. When I started learning English, I thought it would be easy. I thought I would learn in a few months. But I was wrong. I made many mistakes. I forgot words. I got shy when I had to speak. Many times I felt like quitting. I even cried once because I thought I was not good enough. But I kept going. I listened to English stories every day. I read small books. I practiced with friends. I wrote in a notebook. Slowly, I got better. But if someone sees me now, they don't see all of that. They just think I was always good. But no, I had to work hard. That hard work is my iceberg under the water. So when you look at someone who is successful, remember this: you are only seeing a small part. You do not know what they had to go through. Maybe they worked every day for years. Maybe they failed many times. Maybe they cried alone at night. You do not see that, but it is there. It is always there. And that part, that hidden part, is the real reason they are successful. This also means something beautiful. If you are working hard now, but you feel like no one sees you, it's okay. Your hard work is still there. It is your iceberg under the water. One day people will see the top, and they will be amazed. But you will know the truth. You will know what it took to get there. And you will feel proud, not because people see your success, but because you know your journey. So don't be fooled by what you see. Don't feel sad if others look perfect. Everyone has a hidden story, and your story is building too. Every time you practice English, every time you learn a new word, every time you try again, that is your iceberg growing stronger. Keep going. You are building something great, even if others can't see it yet. Chapter 2. Everyone starts somewhere. Sometimes we look at successful people and we think they were always like that. We think they were always smart, always rich, always good at what they do. But that is not true. The truth is, everyone starts somewhere. No one is born successful. Success comes from learning, from trying, from making mistakes. It takes time, it takes effort, and it always begins from the bottom. Let me tell you a story. There is a man named Jack Ma. He is the founder of a big company called Alibaba. Today, he is one of the richest people in China. But did you know that when he was young, he failed his exams many times? He even failed his university entrance exam twice. He applied for many jobs and was rejected again and again. Once, he applied to work at KFC. There were 24 people who applied. 23 were accepted. Only Jack Ma was rejected. He felt sad, but he didn't give up. He kept learning. He kept trying. Slowly, step by step, he built his success. He started from nothing, but he did not stop. That is what made the difference. Here is another story. You may know the name J.K. Rowling. She is the writer of the Harry Potter books. Her books are famous all over the world. But her life was not always easy. Before she became famous, she was very poor. She had no job. She was a single mother with a baby. She wrote her book in small cafes while her baby slept beside her. She sent her book to many publishers, and most of them said no. But she didn't give up. One day, someone finally said yes, and the rest is history. Today, her books have sold millions of copies. But it all started with a small idea, a lot of rejection, and a heart that didn't stop trying. Even in my own life, I have seen this truth. When I started learning English, I was not good. I was shy. I was afraid to speak. I didn't understand much, but I started anyway. I listened. I read. I made mistakes. I felt embarrassed sometimes, but I didn't stop. And slowly, I got better. One word at a time, one sentence at a time. If I had waited to be perfect, I would never have started, but I started small. And that was enough. It is okay to begin where you are. Maybe you don't speak English very well right now. Maybe you make a lot of mistakes. Maybe you are afraid. That's all right. Everyone starts there. Every good speaker was once a beginner. Every great writer once wrote simple sentences. Every strong person was once weak. But they started, and they didn't stop. That is the real key. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Start where you are with what you have. Speak even if your grammar is not right. Write even if your words are simple. Read even if you don't understand every word. Just begin, and then keep going. Day by day, you will get better. You will grow. There is also something important to remember. No journey is the same. Your path may be different from others. You may take longer. You may have more challenges. That's okay. This is your journey. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to be like anyone else. You just have to keep moving. So if you feel like you are at the bottom, remember, you are not alone. Every successful person stood where you are now. They started with fear. They started with failure. But they started, and now it's your turn. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. The right time is now. Take the first step. Even if it's small, it still counts, because everyone starts somewhere, and so can you. Chapter 3. Behind every success, there is a story. Success is not just a photo. It is not just a medal or a big house or a smiling face. Success is a story, a long story, a story full of small steps, of hard work, of late nights, and of quiet moments when no one is watching. We often forget this. We only see the final result. We see the person standing on the stage. We hear the applause. We see the award in their hand. But we do not know what happened before that moment. We do not see the journey that brought them there. That journey is where the real success lives. Let me tell you a true story. It is the story of a girl named Sarah. She was not rich. She lived in a small town. She had big dreams. She wanted to become a doctor. But her school did not have many teachers. She had to study alone most of the time. Her family didn't have money for private classes. Still, every morning, she woke up early. She studied with old books. She used a dictionary to understand hard words. At night, while others slept, she stayed up and read her notes. It was not easy. Many times she failed her tests. She cried. She felt like giving up. She thought, maybe I am not smart enough. But something inside her said, try again. So she did. She took the test again, and again. She improved a little each time. Slowly, her marks got better. She asked questions. She wrote down her mistakes. She learned from them. She didn't stop, even when she felt tired, even when people laughed at her dreams. Years passed. Finally, she passed her medical entrance exam. She became the first doctor in her family. Everyone clapped for her. But they didn't know the full story. They didn't know how many nights she had cried. They didn't know how many times she had failed. They only saw the end. But the real story was in the journey. This happens with many people. We see the success, but we don't see the story. Every good speaker has a story of forgetting words. Every good writer has a story of bad essays. Every athlete has a story of pain, of loss, of starting again. Behind every smile, there are tears. Behind every victory, there are many defeats. But we don't always see that. So we think success is easy. We think it is magic. But it is not. It is built slowly, like a wall, one brick at a time, like a tree, one leaf at a time. Your story is also building. Maybe today you feel like you are not good enough. Maybe you are trying to learn English and you feel it is hard. Maybe you forget words or make mistakes when you speak. That's okay. This is part of your story. These moments, your effort, your practice, your small wins, they are the steps to success. And one day, people will see your result. They will say, "Wow, you are so good." But only you will know how hard you worked to get there. When you feel like giving up, remember this. Success is not a straight line. It is full of ups and downs. There are times when you feel strong. There are times when you feel weak. But every step you take adds to your story. And that story matters. Your story may be slow. It may be simple, but it is beautiful. Because it is real. And it is yours. So if you are on your journey, don't worry if it feels hard. Don't stop because it takes time. Every successful person you see today had a story full of struggle. Just like you. You are not behind. You are just in the middle of your story. Keep writing it. One small step at a time. Chapter 4. What people don't show. Today, I want to talk about something very real. Something we all feel, but don't always speak about. It's about what people show and what they don't. These days, we see people online all the time. On social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, we see pictures and videos of their life. They look so happy. They travel to beautiful places. They eat fancy food. They drive nice cars. They smile. Everything looks perfect. And we sit there and look at their life. Then we look at our own life. We think, why is my life not like that? We start to feel small. We feel like we are not doing enough, like we are not good enough. But let me tell you something important. People only show what they want to show. They do not show everything. They do not show the bad days. They do not show their stress. They do not show their fights, their fears, or their failures. What we see is only the bright side, the good parts. We don't see the whole story. Let me give you an example. I have a friend who always posts pictures of his travels. He shows the mountains, the beaches, the restaurants. Every photo looks perfect. One day, I met him after a long time. I said, "Wow, your life looks amazing." He smiled, But then he said something that surprised me. He said, "Yes, my photos look nice, but the truth is, I've been feeling very lonely. I travel a lot, but I miss home. I don't always feel happy." I was shocked. I thought his life was perfect, but it wasn't. He just didn't show the hard parts. This happens to many of us. We see others on the internet and think their life is better than ours, but we are only seeing the highlight reel. It's like watching a movie trailer. The trailer shows the best parts, but not the full story. In real life, everyone has problems. Everyone has worries. They just don't show them. So we must remember, don't compare your full life with someone else's best moments. It is not fair to yourself. Even when people look confident, they may feel afraid inside. Even when they smile in photos, they may cry at night. Even when someone speaks perfect English in a video, they may have practiced that video 10 times. You are only seeing the final version, not the struggle behind it. I remember when I first started speaking English in front of people. I was scared. My hands shook. I forgot words, but I kept going. Later, someone told me, "You speak so well. You must have been born confident." I laughed. I said, "You didn't see how nervous I was. You didn't see the times I failed." That person only saw the outside, not the fear inside. So, if you ever feel like you are behind, if you feel like others are better than you, stop. Take a breath. Remind yourself that you are only seeing a small piece of their life. You don't know their full story. And your journey is not the same as theirs. It doesn't have to be. You are learning. You are growing. You are doing your best. That matters. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to show off. You just have to be real. You just have to keep going. Your success is not about likes or comments. It is about your effort, your honesty, your progress. So next time you see someone online doing something amazing, be happy for them, but don't compare. And when you feel low, when you feel like you're not doing enough, look at your own story. Think about how far you've come. Think about all the small steps you have taken. That is your real success. And remember, you don't have to show your whole journey to the world, but never hide it from yourself. Your real life is not less than someone's highlight reel. Your real life is valuable, and it's worth living fully, one step at a time. Chapter 5. Hard work is invisible. Sometimes, when we see someone do something well, it looks so easy. You hear someone speak English with a good accent and you think, wow, they are so lucky. They must be very smart. Or maybe you see someone win a prize, or get a good job, or move to a new country and you think, their life is perfect. But what we don't see is what they did when no one was watching. We don't see the early mornings. We don't see the mistakes. We don't see the long, quiet hours of practice. That is because hard work is often invisible. Let me tell you something true. Behind every skill, there is practice. Behind every success, there is effort. When I was learning English, people thought I was just good with languages. But I wasn't. I worked hard every day. I had a small notebook, and I wrote new words in it every night. I listened to the same story 10 times until I could understand every sentence. I read out loud even when I was tired. I spoke to myself in English when no one was around. No one saw me doing these things. It was quiet. It was simple, but that was the real work. We live in a world where people show the results, not the process. You see someone giving a speech in English, and you think they were born with that talent. But they were not. They practiced. Maybe they spoke in front of a mirror every day. Maybe they recorded themselves and listened again and again. Maybe they forgot words, made mistakes, and felt embarrassed. But they kept going. That part is not always visible, but it is the most important part. So how do you build your own invisible success? It starts with small things, things that may feel too small to matter, but they do. For example, reading just one page of an English book every day. It looks small, but after a month, that's 30 pages. After a year, that's a whole book. Or learning 5 new words a week. In 1 year, that's over 250 new words. These little things grow, slowly, quietly, but surely. Another habit that helped me was repeating words out loud. I used to walk and say the same word again and again, like this: beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I said it until it felt natural. No one saw me doing it. But that practice made me confident, and that confidence showed later, in the way I spoke, in the way I listened. That's what invisible work does. It builds something strong inside you. I also had a habit of writing short sentences every day, just a few lines, about how I felt, about what I did that day. I didn't share it with anyone. It was just for me. But it helped me think in English. It helped me use the words I was learning. Little by little, my writing got better, and so did my speaking. One more thing. I listened to English every day, even when I was cooking or cleaning or walking. I just played stories, songs, or news. At first, I didn't understand everything, but I kept listening, and slowly, things became clear. This was also invisible work. No one told me to do it. No one clapped for me, but it worked. So if you are learning something, like English, and you feel like no one sees your effort, don't worry. Your hard work matters, even if it is quiet. You don't need an audience. You don't need applause. You just need to keep going. Because one day, someone will say, "You are so good," and you will smile because you will know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was invisible hard work. Your work. And remember, the most powerful work is not done on stage. It's done in silence, in small rooms, in quiet moments, when you choose to try again, when you choose to practice, even when it's boring, when you choose to believe in yourself. So keep doing the small things. Read, listen, speak, write, even when it feels slow, even when it feels hard. This is how real success is built. Brick by brick, word by word. And even if no one sees it now, one day they will see the result. And more importantly, you will feel it. Chapter 5. Hard work is invisible. Sometimes, when we see someone do something well, it looks so easy. You hear someone speak English with a good accent and you think, wow, they are so lucky. They must be very smart. Or maybe you see someone win a prize or get a good job or move to a new country and you think, their life is perfect. But what we don't see is what they did when no one was watching. We don't see the early mornings. We don't see the mistakes. We don't see the long, quiet hours of practice. That is because hard work is often invisible. Let me tell you something true. Behind every skill, there is practice. Behind every success, there is effort. When I was learning English, people thought I was just good with languages. But I wasn't. I worked hard every day. I had a small notebook, and I wrote new words in it every night. I listened to the same story 10 times until I could understand every sentence. I read out loud, even when I was tired. I spoke to myself in English when no one was around. No one saw me doing these things. It was quiet. It was simple. But that was the real work. We live in a world where people show the results, not the process. You see someone giving a speech in English, and you think they were born with that talent. But they were not. They practiced. Maybe they spoke in front of a mirror every day. Maybe they recorded themselves and listened again and again. Maybe they forgot words, made mistakes, and felt embarrassed. But they kept going. That part is not always visible. But it is the most important part. So how do you build your own invisible success? It starts with small things. Things that may feel too small to matter, but they do. For example, reading just one page of an English book every day. It looks small, but after a month, that's 30 pages. After a year, that's a whole book. Or learning 5 new words a week. In 1 year, that's over 250 new words. These little things grow. Slowly, quietly, but surely. Another habit that helped me was repeating words out loud. I used to walk and say the same word again and again, like this: beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I said it until it felt natural. No one saw me doing it. But that practice made me confident. And that confidence showed later. In the way I spoke. In the way I listened. That's what invisible work does. It builds something strong inside you. I also had a habit of writing short sentences every day, just a few lines, about how I felt, about what I did that day. I didn't share it with anyone. It was just for me. But it helped me think in English. It helped me use the words I was learning. Little by little, my writing got better. And so did my speaking. One more thing. I listened to English every day. Even when I was cooking or cleaning or walking, I just played stories, songs, or news. At first, I didn't understand everything, but I kept listening. And slowly, things became clear. This was also invisible work. No one told me to do it. No one clapped for me. But it worked. So if you are learning something, like English, and you feel like no one sees your effort, don't worry. Your hard work matters, even if it is quiet. You don't need an audience. You don't need applause. You just need to keep going. Because one day, someone will say, "You are so good," and you will smile, because you will know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was invisible hard work. Your work. And remember, the most powerful work is not done on stage. It's done in silence, in small rooms, in quiet moments. When you choose to try again, when you choose to practice, even when it's boring, when you choose to believe in yourself. So keep doing the small things. Read, listen, speak, write, even when it feels slow, even when it feels hard. This is how real success is built, brick by brick, word by word. And even if no one sees it now, one day they will see the result. And more importantly, you will feel it. Chapter 7. Failure is part of the process. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Everyone fails. I have failed many times, but each time I failed, I learned something. In this chapter, I will talk about why failure is important. You will learn how to use your mistakes to grow. I will also share how I overcame some of my biggest failures and what I learned from them. After this, you will not be afraid of failure anymore. You will see it as a step forward. That's Clutch.com +2, Medium +2, Hubgets +2. Why failure is important. Many people think failure is bad. They think it means they are not good enough, but that is not true. Failure is a teacher. It shows us what doesn't work. It helps us find better ways. Mento World. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he succeeded. When someone asked him about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Mento World failure is also a chance to be stronger. When we fail and keep going, we become more confident. We learn to try again. We learn to be patient. My story of failure. When I first started learning English, I made many mistakes. I forgot words. I said the wrong things. I felt embarrassed, but I did not give up. I learned from each mistake. I practiced more. I asked for help. One time, I tried to speak to someone in English, but I was too shy. I walked away without saying anything. I felt sad, but I told myself, next time I will try again. And I did. Each time, I became better. How to use failure to grow one. Accept your feelings. It's okay to feel sad or upset after a failure. Let yourself feel those emotions. Then, let them go and focus on what you can learn. 2. Look at what went wrong. Think about what happened. What can you do differently next time? This helps you improve. 3. Make a plan. Decide what small steps you can take to do better. For example, if you want to speak English more, you can practice speaking for 5 minutes every day. 4. Try again. Don't be afraid to try. Each time you try, you learn and grow. Remember, failure is not the end. It is a part of the journey. It helps you become better. Every successful person has failed many times. What matters is not giving up. What matters is learning and trying again. So when you fail, don't be afraid. Say to yourself, "This is a lesson. I will learn and grow," and keep moving forward. WashingtonPost.com. Chapter 8. The Power of Small Steps. Sometimes we think we need to do something big to be successful. We wait for the right time, or we wait until we feel ready. But the truth is, big success does not come from big steps. It comes from small steps, done every day. A little reading every day, one English word at a time, a small practice session. These are the steps that build your future. and they are more powerful than you think. Let me tell you a small story from my own life. When I first started learning English, I was excited, but I didn't know where to begin. I thought I had to study for hours every day. I tried that, but I got tired. I couldn't keep going. Then one day, I decided to change my plan. I told myself, just learn one new word today. Just one. And I did. The next day, I learned one more word, and then one more. Some days, I learned two. Other days, just one. But I kept going. After 1 month, I knew 30 new words. After 2 months, I could make simple sentences with those words. And slowly, I started speaking more. All of that came from one small step a day. Just one. That's the power of small steps. Many people give up because they think they are not moving fast. But slow is not bad. Slow is steady. Slow is strong. Small steps are easy to do. And because they are easy, you can do them every day. That is how real success begins. A strong tree grows from a small seed. A great speaker starts with one word. I have a friend named Amir. He wanted to speak English fluently, but he was afraid. So I told him to start small. I said, watch one short video in English every day, just 5 minutes. He started watching. At first, he didn't understand much, but he didn't stop. He kept watching, one video every day. After 3 months, he told me, I understand more now. I hear words I know. Then he started speaking those words. Now he speaks English with confidence, not because he took big steps, but because he took small steps, again and again. This works not only for English, but for anything in life. Want to be healthier? Drink one more glass of water each day. Want to save money? Save a small amount each week. Want to feel better? Say one kind thing to yourself every morning. Small steps make big change. Now, let me show you how to make your own small plan. Take a notebook. Write down one small thing you want to do every day. Make it so small that it feels easy. For example, learn one new word. Read one sentence. Listen to English for 5 minutes. Write one short message in English. Don't try to do too much, just do one thing, then check it off when you finish. The next day, do it again. If you miss a day, that's okay. Start again the next day. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to keep going. Here's a simple rule I follow. Never zero. That means every day, do something, anything, no matter how small. Even on busy or tired days, I try to do one small thing. Maybe just listen to one English word. That's enough. Because something is always better than nothing. The power of small steps is that they become habits. And habits shape your life. One day, you will look back and see how far you have come. You will be surprised. You will say, wow, I did all that? I just started with one small word. So today, don't wait for something big. Take one small step. Learn one small thing. And then, do it again tomorrow. That's how success grows. One small step at a time. Chapter 9. Your journey is your success. At the end of the day, what really matters is the journey. The path you walk, the small steps you take, the times you try, and the times you get back up after falling. These are the things that make you truly successful. You may not have reached your goal yet. Maybe you still feel far away. But look at how far you've already come. That is success, too. Let's go back to the iceberg. In the beginning, we talked about how we only see the top. We see the final picture, the achievement, the success. But underneath, there is so much more. And now, after everything we've talked about in these chapters, you can see it more clearly. Under the water, there is hard work. There is patience. There is failure and learning. There are small steps, repeated every day. That is your journey. That is your iceberg. It is strong. It is growing. You may not feel successful right now. Maybe you're just starting. Maybe you still make mistakes. But every action you take is part of your success. Every time you sit to study one word, every time you listen to English, every time you speak, even if you are nervous, that is success. Because success is not one big moment. It is a collection of many small moments, and you are already living them. I want to share one final story with you. It is about a young woman I once knew. Her name was Asha. She came from a small town. Her family did not have much. She wanted to study, she wanted to speak English, and she wanted to grow. But people told her she could not do it. They said it was too hard. They said she should not dream too big. But Asha believed in one thing: small steps. Every day she studied for 10 minutes. She kept a small notebook and wrote 5 new words each day. She listened to English songs. She spoke to herself in the mirror. She made many mistakes. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she wanted to quit. But she always started again. 1 year later, she gave a small speech in English at her school. It was not perfect, but it was strong and full of heart. She smiled and everyone clapped. That day, someone asked her, "How did you do it?" She said, "1 word at a time, 1 day at a time." Asha's journey is like yours. Maybe your dream is different. Maybe your goal is something else. But the path is the same. You are taking steps. You are building something under the surface. And one day, people will see the top of your iceberg. They will say, "Wow, you are so good." And you will smile because you will know the truth. You built it 1 step at a time. So today, be proud of your journey. You are not just learning English. You are becoming stronger. You are learning how to keep going, how to believe in yourself, and how to grow from the inside out. That is the real success. And now, my friend, before we end, I want to say this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, for learning, and for trusting your journey. You are doing better than you think. Keep going. You are already on the path to success. If you learned something new today, or if this video helped you see success in a different way, I'd really appreciate your support. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this. If you found this video useful, give it a like to show your support. And tell me in the comments, what does success mean to you? I'd love to hear your story and how you define your own success. Remember, you are doing great. Keep going. Your journey matters, and every step you take counts. I'm excited to be part of it with you.